Conservative New Media viewers and Jeremy Lin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and this is a special video that I didn't intend to make, but I was just looking around over at jeremylin.net, the site, which is a site I like a lot. We've talked about their stuff before. I actually sent them a tweet the other day on Twitter telling them how much I appreciate what they do. They're doing a great job. They've done a great job. They've been around following Jeremy for quite a while. And again, I just really appreciate all that they've done. I do go over to the site quite a bit to see what other fans are saying, and just to see what the writers at jeremylin.net are saying, see what their views are, kind of gauge the opinion of other people out there. However, I came upon a comment by a commenter there named Laetitia, and I want to address this because it was talking about us, talking about conservative new media. And there were a couple of things said in there about us, and I want to make sure that the story is correct. So I wanted to just kind of take the opportunity in this video to go over a few things. And sometimes these are things brought up by other commenters and other people. And particularly one thing that came up the other day from a commenter, and I forget the person's name, something like Stiaslaw or Stialaw CCC, and I'll get to that in just a second. Okay, let's go through this one by one. And these were it was mentioned, I think, by Laetitia, hey, who are good people to listen to about Jeremy Lin? And someone mentioned us. And then Laetitia came back and had a couple specific criticisms. So I just wanted to address those things. Criticism number one from Laetitia. I assume it's a woman or a girl or a woman, not sure which. I'm just making that assumption, and hopefully that's correct. That is usually a woman's name. The first thing that she said was that she said that she thought that we, meaning conservative new media, is using Jeremy Lin for views. Now, I talked about this the other day, and I don't remember which video it was, one of the recent videos, and I specifically told you guys that we're not going to do sensational videos about Jeremy because we don't want to use them for views. If we were looking to use Jeremy Lin for views, then the videos that you would see would be a lot different than what we do. They wouldn't be as long. They'd be more shocking in terms of the headlines. We would be looking for just silly stuff. I could go on Twitter and find, hey, such and so said this about Jeremy Lin. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that shocking? We're not into that. That's just not what we do. And that's the easiest way for me to say it. If you're not familiar with myself and John's work, we've been around on YouTube for quite a while now. Both of us did stuff before we were on this current channel. We have getting close to about 5,000 videos now. And I would say probably about 4,500 of those have nothing to do with Jeremy Lin. Again, I like Jeremy Lin tremendously, which is why I make the videos. But we've never had a mega breakout video in terms of views by doing stuff about Jeremy Lin. I've done a video, I literally did a video about a plane crash, or excuse me, it wasn't even a crash. It was a plane had a malfunction. And that video got 7 million views and counting. So, in other words, if we were looking to do stuff just for views, it wouldn't be the Jeremy Lin stuff. It would be more sensational stuff. It would be more sensational stuff about Jeremy, or it would just be more sensational, shocking, controversial type stuff, period. But that's not what we're doing. I do the videos, and it's particularly, I do a lot of the videos about Jeremy. John does some as well. I do the videos about Jeremy because I like Jeremy, and I've followed his story very closely since Linsanity in New York. And look, there are going to be people, whether it's Laetitia or other people around the internet, who don't understand that, who are going to have a certain perception of what we do, and they don't know us. And I understand that. I don't have any, I'm not mad about that. It's just, it's important when things come up, if you can, to try to clarify them. As I told you guys this last summer, it was good that Jeremy Lin took the opportunity, I felt, with his team to answer some of the criticisms that were put out there against him by a lot of people in the media that either didn't understand what he was going through or didn't want him to succeed, in my opinion. That's why the videos Reloaded and You've Changed, Bro were made. So I'm kind of doing a similar thing here. I'm not upset, and I understand that people might have a particular perception about what we do, but I just want to take a chance to kind of correct that a little bit and answer it, and just kind of set the record straight, so to speak. That's the number one thing. Now, the number two thing, I believe that was said, and I'm not sure if this was about me, because Laetitia was saying, or about us in conservative new media. Laetitia was answering about several different sources. I think us and another source. I believe that Laetitia said that we were not b-ball anything. And what was meant by that, or at least the way that I took it, was meaning that we're not experts. We're not in the media, etc., etc. Now, I've said this before, and I will say it again. Both John and I were in the sports media. We both participated in the sports media. It's been a little bit a while now since that took place, but we both have experience with that. I've also known several fairly well-known people in the sports media, have them look over some of the work that I've done in terms of writing and stuff, and I've been asked to participate in other sports media. It's just not the right time for that right now in terms of where my life is, so this is what I do in terms of the videos. So we both had that capacity, and I think that if we wanted to do more of that, we could. It's just not, that's just not what we're doing right now. That's not what we're trying to do at this point in time. As I've told certain of you guys before, I've been around basketball for decades in my life. I've played. I've done very, very small, little, minor coaching. I've researched it. I've written about it. I've talked about it. I've been talking about it on the internet for 20 years now. So in reality, I am just a fan at this point in time, but I've done more than that, and I probably could do more than that if I wanted to do it, but that's just not where things are at in my life right now. So I do this, but I know a tremendous amount about the game, and I love the game, and that's a big reason why I do these videos, in addition to my fondness for Jeremy Lin. Okay, so going on to criticism number 3. I think it was said that and I would imagine this applies more to myself than it applies to John, I think it was quote unquote crazy long monologues, meaning that the videos that we do are very long, and they are long. I know that the ones that I do are quite long. And this goes back to what was said by the commenter. Again, I don't remember the exact names. Law CCC. Somebody just the other day left a comment saying your videos are too long. Look, I understand that criticism. I do. People can't listen to the whole things a lot of times. We've gotten feedback and criticism about that before. I do understand that. However, we've gotten many people that come to the videos and tell us that they love the long videos and they want us to make long videos, and that they'll put the video in and listen to it while they're driving to work, or they'll listen to it when they're commuting from work, this type of thing, if they're on a bus or they're doing something else like this. Part of the reason why I do the long videos, or have done the long videos, is because some of it is education for fans that don't know the game as well. They're just starting to get to learn the game because they like Jeremy Lin. Part of it is because sometimes I will do a quarter-by-quarter breakdown of Jeremy's participation in a game. That can't be done in 3 minutes. I mean, it's just not something that's doable in that amount of time. And what I've tried to do a little bit more now in those longer videos is give a summary at the beginning of the video of what I'm going to talk about, so that if there's something in particular you don't want to hear or you don't want to take time for, that you can hopefully skip forward through it. And this is an ongoing process. I'm amenable. I'm okay with making shorter videos. It's just we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about longer videos. So it's tough to satisfy everybody. And that's kind of where we're coming from here. I know that's where I'm coming from. Look, I just love the game, and I love to talk about the game. And that's another reason why I make longer videos. Finally, I think it was said by Laetitia that she might feel that our viewpoint is more pro-Rockets than, I would guess, pro-Lin. I'm a very long-time fan of the Houston Rockets. I've been on the site Clutch Fans since 1999, since it began. I was on it before that, when it was called Clutch City. I do like the Rockets. However, when we do the videos, I'm very much focused about Jeremy Lin. What I would classify myself as regards pro-Rockets, pro-Lin, is I'm pro-reality, which is to say there are certain things that are going to happen, or that I think are going to happen based upon my experience with how the NBA works. And I try to be objective about Jeremy and objective about the situation. If I think Jeremy's getting a raw deal from the coach or from the organization, I'll say that. One of the advantages for myself or for John, since we are not working with the Rockets and we're not working with the NBA, but particularly not working for the team, is we can say whatever we want. One of the things you learn working in the sports media is if you're affiliated with a team, or if you rely on particular contacts that you get information from, sometimes you got to be nice to those contacts. And if you're not nice to them and you don't do what they want you to do, you won't get information anymore, or you won't get access to the games or to interviews anymore. That's one of the good things about being on the outside looking in. We're not constrained by that. I can say whatever I want. I respect the Rockets. I respect Kevin McHale. I respect Daryl Morey. I respect Les Alexander. the team owner. I respect the team. One thing that's important to understand is that not everybody has the same point of view. I can look at the situation with Jeremy and the team and say, Jeremy really needs to be starting here. And he should be starting over Patrick Beverley, which I've said a number of different times. But Kevin McHale might not see it like that. The assistant coaches on the team might not see it that way. That doesn't mean that they're evil people. It just means they might not look at it like I do. Now, it could mean that they have a grudge against Jeremy and all this stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. And so I have to be realistic about that. If I'm just an over-the-top Jeremy Lin fan and everything is pro Jeremy to the exclusion of possible other opinions, that's not credible. That's not grounded. And so I can't do that. And I guess then if that makes me seem to be pro-Rockets, I'm going to have to accept that designation, because you have to have some objectivity in when you're covering a team or you're covering an individual. You can't see it through rose-colored glasses. That's not realistic. It's what I try to say when it comes to Jeremy and his abilities and what he needs to improve upon. Jeremy still has a lot to work on to get to where he wants to get to. Do I think he can do it? Yeah, absolutely. I've said that many times. So it's not an either-or thing. It's not necessarily either you're pro-Jeremy or you're pro-Rockets. We're definitely pro-Jeremy, but we have to look at the entire situation. The world doesn't revolve around Jeremy Lin. The Rockets don't revolve around Jeremy Lin, just like the world doesn't revolve around me, and it doesn't revolve around you who's watching this video. Jeremy fits into what's going on for the Rockets, and they have to deal with that. They have to figure that out. Again, they might not come to the same conclusion about how to use Jeremy that I might come to, but I'm not running the team. Now, if you disagree with what the Rockets decide, then you can voice your opinion about that. And I've encouraged people to do that, whether you go to Clutch Fans, whether you go to jeremylin.net, make your voice heard. That's what you should do. But that's not the same. You still want to have, at least where I'm coming from, in making these videos, you need to have some objectivity or you'd have no credibility. I can't be a 100% fanboy in making these videos or nobody will take me seriously in what I'm saying. And that's not a position that myself or John want to be in. And honestly, it doesn't help Jeremy any. If people can just dismiss you because they don't think you're being even-handed, you're not helping the person that you want to help or that you want to support. Finally, like I said, look, it's making these videos, particularly the longer ones, the game ones, as many of you guys know that have watched these videos for a while now. They take a very long time to make. They take hours and hours and hours to make. I'm not getting anything for making these videos. Nothing. I spend time. I go to Clutch Fans. I post sites. I put up posts there, start threads, do a bunch of research. I do the same thing on another site called Real GM. I'm not getting anything for doing this. So again, going back to we're doing this for views. I'm not doing it for views. There are other things I could do with my time to get views or get other benefits if I wanted to do that. I'm doing this, we're doing this because we like Jeremy. And I have been frustrated in the past greatly, as many of you know, with how Jeremy is covered. I don't think he's treated fairly, although it's starting to change. And I felt like something had to be done about that. And it's good now that there are more places like JeremyLin.net, which was around before us, for sure, and absolutely admit that. But like Jeremy Lin Intelligence with our friend Andy, like what Chris Baldwin's writing about, like what Alex Kennedy did with his recent interview with Jeremy, there's more stuff coming out being more fair to Jeremy. That makes it easier for me. That makes it easier for us, because then I can do less. I can focus on other stuff rather than doing these videos. But I enjoy making these videos. It's kind of like a labor of love, because I like Jeremy and I want Jeremy to succeed. I'm really thrilled that not only are some of these sites doing more stuff, a lot of Jeremy's fans are doing more things. I know that the poster TTNN, who is on both JeremyLin.net and is on Clutch Fans, did a great job with the thread on Clutch Fans the other day. He did I'm assuming it's a he. He did a bunch of research, put it in spreadsheet type form about what the comparisons were with when James Harden's playing with Jeremy Lin versus when James Harden's playing with Patrick Beverley. And it was great. That's awesome. That's great. The more of that type of stuff that we can see, the better. And it's getting more and more every single day. I see it all around the internet. I see it on Real GM. I see it on all these different sites. That's terrific. That's terrific. Now, I know some of you guys have said recently, Brent Yen and some other people have said that they haven't been able to post on Clutch Fans because the stuff's in moderation or whatever. I don't know what that is. I know a number of Jeremy's fans are on Clutch Fans, and they're making their voices heard. Hopefully more of you guys can do that. And if there's some type of moderation glitch at Clutch Fans, that can get fixed. There are a lot of different places to go and to talk. And it's encouraging to see that. And I think that there are going to be more and more places and more fans discussing Jeremy. Two other quick things. Number one, there is a real chance that Jeremy's not going to be the starter at this beginning of this season. I talked about it earlier in the summer, talked about it now as we head into fall. I do think that things are leaning towards that. I don't like that, but I do think that's a very real possibility. And again, if it occurs, we have to deal with it. And you have to deal with it in a positive way, which is, I know that Jeremy's taken that approach. Last year, he put a lot of pressure on himself and was really stressed out, which is what he talked about in his testimony this past summer when he was, I think, in Asia and in the San Francisco Bay Area. Now he seems much calmer. And he's kind of just, again, he's surrendering to the process a little bit more and realizing he can't control everything. If Jeremy continues to play the way that he's playing and he continues to improve, he's going to be in great shape. He's absolutely going to be starting again for a team soon, in my opinion, whether or not that team is the Houston Rockets. And we'll follow him wherever he goes. We've said that, and we'll say it again. I'm very enthusiastic about how Jeremy is doing right now and about his prospects going forward. The other thing I wanted to say, and this was brought up in the comments of one of our recent videos. It has been mentioned that there are supposedly fake Jeremy Lin fans who are posting comments about him around the internet. And it was said that some of these fans, or supposed Lin fans, are using Asian names. Let me just tell you something about that. John and I, in the work that we have done outside of the sports arena have come across this type of thing often. This is a common phenomenon on the internet, which is to say, you can pretend to be somebody else and you can encourage your agenda by doing that. So I can pretend to be a fan of Patrick Beverley and go on 10 different sites and say, I really like Patrick Beverley, but, and then say a whole bunch of nasty things about him. Do I think this is happening to Jeremy? Yes. I've seen it. And I've seen it, I believe, with people using Asian names and stuff. And the reason why you do that is because then you don't look like a blatant hater. So people are more likely to take what you say seriously if you don't look like an obvious hater. But be careful of these people. They are out there. I'm very sure of that. I've seen it myself. If you see them, point them out to other people. That's what I would do. And again, I've dealt with this in other arenas. And it's just something that happens, and it's something you're going to have to deal with. And my guess is you will see more of it. And part of the reason why it happens, in my opinion, as regards Jeremy, is because Jeremy is so popular. So the people that don't like Jeremy, they know that they're outmatched in terms of numbers. So they have to pretend that they're Jeremy fans in order to try to make him look bad in these comments, or else they're going to be overwhelmed by Jeremy's fans. And that's the way it goes. That's just, again, this is a common technique on the internet. Okay, that's about it. The next Houston Rockets preseason game is tomorrow, Monday, the 21st, it's the 21st, I believe, of 2013. Looking forward to it. Jeremy practiced yesterday, Saturday, the 19th. He's recovering from a sinus infection and seems to be doing better, which is great. Hopefully, he's going to be feeling pretty much at full speed for that preseason game against the Dallas Mavericks. He needs to try to continue to do well, as he is still in a competition with Patrick Beverley for the starting spot. That's about it. I know Jeremy went to the UFC 166. That was in Houston last night. So did James Harden, Chandler Parsons, Dwight Howard, and Patrick Beverley. Saw pictures of that. Guys looked like they were having fun. And that's really good to see. So, okay, thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. Once again, I am Paul Villarreal, PFE, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We do strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. It is 9:20 a.m. here on Sunday, October 20th, 2013, which means it is 9:20 p.m. in Taipei, Taiwan. I'll just say, again, I don't know Laetitia at all. I'm not trying to call her out or anything. I have nothing. Everybody's entitled to his or her own opinion. I just wanted to answer some of the concerns that she had about us and that other people have about us, whether it's the videos are too long or whatever it is. And this is something we will continue to have to do this because you get new viewers, you get new people tuning in, and they don't know who you are. So you're going to have to continually update people and let them know what the story is and where you're coming from. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to do that right now. Have a great night or a great day wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. We will talk to you again soon.